Yadong fights Cejudo this week at UFC Seattle, and let's break it down. So each week I obviously pick a fight and I break it down. Usually I pick a fight that's a bit lower down on the card. Last week I did do Gabriel Bonfim vs Chaos Williams, which was on the prelims, but this week I couldn't help myself. I'm so excited for the main event this weekend. That's the fight I'm going to break down. Cejudo vs Yadong. If anyone knows me, know my favourite fights are flyweight and bantamweight fights. It may be even featherweight, because they're so athletic, so fast, technique is so high, and you're just on the edge of your seat the whole fight, even if it's a grappling fest, a striking fest, or just a full MMA fight. All the fights are so good. I love watching them. Technique's so high. If you watch a bottom level UFC bantamweight fight compared to a medium level heavyweight fight, the bottom level's probably better technique. Even the higher you go in heavyweight, even at the highest level, it's probably better technique, because they're so small and because they're 5'5", moving at the speed they are, full athletes. And it's amazing to watch. Yadong and Cejudo, especially Yadong, falls into that category perfect. So this weekend I'm going to be breaking it down, and the first place to always look is their recent fight. Yadong, one of the sickest fights against Peter Yan. I loved it. I feel like every time I watch Peter Yan fight, he's in the fight of the year so far. Like, he's the best fighter to watch. But his fight with Yadong was amazing. Obviously, Peter Yan is literally, like, he was on 4 losses before that fight, so a lot of people were, like, unsure how that fight would go. But now he's just shooting up from there. He's kind of re-entered his prime. We felt like he was in his prime, like, 4 years ago. Now he's back in it, or now he's just in his prime now. So Yadong took him to a decision. He beat him in that first round. And when I say took him to a decision, I'm acting as if it's, like, good just to take him 3 rounds. No, Yadong was this close to winning. Some people even thought Yadong won. He definitely won the first round. When we look at that first round, his striking was so good. But the biggest thing about it was he had Peter Yan biting on his takedown, on his entries so much. His little fake shots, or his fake entries, were so good. He'd have Peter Yan almost like cowering into like a high guard, dropping his base like this, and then he just unloads shots on him. Amazing little first round for Yadong. And I think in this fight, like, I don't even know who I'm going to pick in this fight yet. I'm going to just do the video, and then at the end I'm going to decide on who I think's going to win. Yadong's power is so good. In this fight, it felt like every time he'd land on Yan, he'd like hit him. His leg kicks are so good. Obviously, I felt like he did tire a bit in round 3. Round 2, Yan started to get back in. He did cut Yadong, so I think that might have hindered Song a bit. But what I noticed Yan started to do was he started elbowing in close, and obviously that cut him, but that kind of like stopped Song from unloading these big hooks in close. Another thing is Yadong, he like burst in, or like obviously that's his thing, like he stands still, he waits for you to do something, then he unloads and powers in. And Yan was really struggling with that the first round, and like a bit of the second round. But after that, Peter Yan started to catch on a bit, and when he'd enter in, he'd then shoot him for a takedown. And what I've noticed with Yadong is when he hits the back, when his back's on the mat, and when he gets taken down, when he hits the mat, he either shoots up straight away and you think, oh my god, his defense is so good, his get-ups are amazing, or he stays on his back for about a minute long. Depends who it is taking him down. Peter Yan, I think it was both the second round and the third round, Peter Yan was managed to hold him on his back for about a minute to 2 minutes in both rounds. So do I think Cejudo can do that? I think he can, because now let's look at Cejudo's last fight. Merab Dvalishvili. Hard to judge because of how good Merab is. He just beat Umar Nurmagomedov, so it's hard to judge. But first round, before he did eventually, I would say, he got broken by Merab. In round 3, kind of was getting ragdolled a bit. Obviously, there's that famous little bit where Merab picks him up on his shoulder, walks to the other end of the mat, slams him down. Like, come on, that's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. How can you do that to him? But round one, although Merab did tag Henry a bit, Henry was tagging Merab a lot, and he took Merab down and held him there for over a minute. That's a big thing. Do I think Song Yadong could hold Merab down for over a minute? No, I don't. Henry was able to in that round one before he started getting fatigued. I think if Henry can manage his stamina and just his overall output, especially with the wrestling, because obviously we know wrestling is the biggest thing that causes fatigue. So if he can manage that, then maybe over 5 rounds he'll be able to hold Merab down, Song Yadong down. And I think that's the game plan I would go for if I was Henry Cejudo. I'd just go for the game plan of making it boring, holding him down. If he's up against the cage, doing the little Merab knees to the thigh, and make it super boring. I wouldn't entertain it, because Henry Cejudo cannot lose. I don't think people are like talking about enough how much Henry Cejudo cannot lose. If he loses to Song Yadong's, when I look at his fight, he's the type of person where he beats everyone but the top guy. He obviously lost to Corey Sandhagen and lost to Peter Yan. If he can beat Henry Cejudo, then he now enters into the top 5, the big like 6 or 7 that are in the division. Sean O'Malley, Umar, Merab, Peter Yan, obviously would now be Song Yadong, but it is Henry Cejudo. If Henry Cejudo loses, he's 38. Song Yadong's 10 years younger than him. If Song Yadong loses, who cares? He's got another 8 fights left. Obviously, he'll want to win, but if he loses, then he can fight like, I don't know, like a Vinicius Oliveira, a Kyler Phillips, someone like that. But if Henry Cejudo loses, I think the only real match he can have is either Jose Aldo or if Sean O'Malley loses his next fight. Other than that, he should just retire. So I think if Henry Cejudo wins as well, what he does open up to is a fight versus Pantoja. I know that sounds crazy, but Pantoja is cleaned out flyweight. If Henry Cejudo even can make it to flyweight, I think that'd be a really good fight. And if he wins this fight against Song Yadong, he can ask for that opportunity, where if he loses this fight, then he's in a bit of a weird situation. Now, if we look at that Corey Sandhagen fight that I did just mention, that Song Yadong fought, I think, a couple of years ago, quite a couple of years ago now, I think it was 2022, and he done really well in that fight. It did get stopped because of a cut. Corey Sandhagen was really good with his elbows in that fight. Song Yadong's defense, though, was amazing. He defended 9 out of 9 takedowns from Corey Sandhagen, and I think I backed Corey Sandhagen to beat Henry Cejudo. Don't get me wrong, he obviously would have beat Song Yadong in that fight, even if it wasn't to the cut. I think he would have won on decision. But to defend that many of Corey Sandhagen's takedowns, Corey Sandhagen's good at wrestling too, and I think, will Song Yadong be able to defend Henry Cejudo's takedowns? It's kind of the talk in MMA at the moment. Obviously, MMA Guru is like the founder of it, where he's saying, unless you're from the Caucasus, who cares about your wrestling? Like, he's saying that all the American wrestlers, once they come up against just a super athletic fighter, their wrestling kind of gets nullified. And I think I kind of agree with him to a certain extent. But Henry Cejudo, he's not just this NCAA champion or like this Division 1 wrestler. He won gold at the Olympics. That is the highest level you can win. And do I think he'll be able to take Song Yadong down? I do. The fact he could take Merab down, I know Merab isn't like necessarily this unbelievable wrestler, and it's more like his endurance that makes his wrestling so good. But like, I think still his wrestling's underrated. He's the champion in the division, just destroyed probably the biggest prospect in the whole of the UFC. And when we look at this fight, though, I think it all takes place in Song Yadong striking. Is he a better striker than Henry Cejudo is a better wrestler than Song Yadong, if that makes sense? So I think the biggest thing to look at is Song Yadong, when he strikes, he crashes in. He has a nice high guard and he crashes in. Can Henry Cejudo counter that? Can he shoot for the legs as Song Yadong crashes in? Can he go for that single leg and then work his way to the back, get him to the fence and keep him there, maybe get a double leg from the fence? I think he can. Henry Cejudo's fight IQ is maybe the best in the whole bantamweight division, and if you watch his breakdowns even on YouTube, they're amazing. He's so high level when it comes to MMA and watching MMA and studying and realizing what you do this, why you do this, and when you do that. And I think where Song Yadong crashes in with his big shots, that's the thing that's going to make it a fight. I think Henry Cejudo, I think that's going to benefit Henry. I think he's going to make it boring. I think he should make it boring if he wants to win the fight. I don't think he'll knock Song Yadong out, and I can't believe he's never subbed anyone. I was looking at his record and he's never got a submission. I kind of blew my mind that a gold medalist in wrestling has never subbed anyone, considering how dominant you would imagine his grappling is. And I don't know if I'm being stupid or I'm being biased or whatever, but I just can't see Henry Cejudo losing to Song Yadong. Like, I just can't. I really can't. The same way, like, I couldn't see DDP losing to Strickland. I just can't see it. Can't see Henry Cejudo, or who he is, a double weight division champion, Olympic gold medalist. Can't see him getting beat on a decision. If he loses, I think he will get TKO'd. I think Song Yadong might land a big shot, maybe round two or round three, and then finish him on the floor. But I'm going to go Henry Cejudo by decision. I'm going to go Henry Cejudo by decision. I think he's just going to out-wrestle him, and maybe not even out-wrestle him where he controls him on the ground for loads. I think where he just keeps him up against the cage loads. And I definitely do think Song Yadong could catch him a lot. But my prediction is Henry Cejudo by decision. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of people are going Song Yadong is the favourite. So if you was a better man, I would put money on Cejudo because it is a pretty even fight, and I am a better man, so I will be putting money on Cejudo. So let me know what you think. Do you think Cejudo can win? And what do you think Cejudo should do after this fight? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you later.